If you're running a current WooCommerce store somewhere else and you want to bring it over to Liquid Web, one of the first things that we get asked about all the time is, how do I choose which plan, right? I have an existing store, it's doing pretty good. I'm looking at your plans and I need to figure out which plan is right. And what you're gonna see is there's a lot of different ways to figure that out, right? The first thing is, below the names of each plan, if you take a look, standard and plus and pro, below it, it says, hey, this is a great infrastructure when you have less than X orders a month. So the first easy way to evaluate which plan is right for you is, how many orders a month am I doing? You doing 500, 1,000, 2,000? Standard is great. You doing 5,000, 8,000? Plus is great, right? So that's the first dynamic. But what if you have a situation where you have a smaller number of orders, but everybody comes at the same time? So you're running a subscription site and everybody gets billed on the second of the month, right? Then you're talking about concurrency, right? All the orders processing, and it turns out subscriptions don't work that way because they'll run it on a chain and play it out. But if you had a situation where everybody was coming at the same time, that idea that we do a big sale on the first or second of the month, or we do big promotions and it all hits all at the same time. Maybe you don't have 10,000 orders, but you're going to have a lot of people coming all concurrently. Then if you look below the purple bar, you see it supports up to X number of concurrent shoppers. That's the total number of people that can all be hitting your site at the same time and hitting buy, right? Or check out. So that's the second way to think about it, right? Now, if you're not looking at orders, right, total number of orders per month, and you're not looking at concurrency, then if you happen to be technically focused, if you happen to know more about the profile of your store, then you can look at the bottom right above the price, and it'll show you how much RAM and how many PHP workers that are allocated to this. Now, if you're not technically oriented, you can just skip that. Go to the top two pieces. But if you are technically oriented, then you know that RAM on its own isn't all that helpful to know. I mean, yes, good. I want RAM, and more RAM is better than smaller amounts of RAM. But it's a little like having megapixels on your camera these days, right? At some point, we stop going, well, how much do I need? Like, nobody needs a 60 megapixel photo, especially if you're trying to put it on your website or put it as your profile for Twitter. So you're like, no. I don't need all the RAM in the world. What I do need, though, is the amount of PHP workers. That's well, imagine that you're shopping at Walmart, right? You fill up your cart and you get to the checkout area and there's all these cash registers, 20 of them. But there's only 2 cashiers. If you've ever been in the store and you're lined up there, right, behind 10 people waiting, at that moment, if someone comes up to you and goes, do you need a bigger cart? I can make your cart bigger. I can put more stuff into it. You go, no, I'm waiting. I need more cashiers here, right? Everything is going to get stopped up. Doesn't matter how big your cart is. Doesn't matter how big your truck is when you get outside to pack it into your minivan or truck. It doesn't matter how high your credit limit is, how much you could buy, even though right now you're only buying what's in your cart. All those things, RAM and disk that we like to talk about, none of them matter when you're trying to get people through. And WooCommerce, sitting on top of WordPress, a PHP application, it's going to have to do work. Now, most times, the amount of work that a PHP worker, a thread, is going to go process to go convert some stuff, run some queries, is pretty small. So having a single PHP worker, once it's done, it goes to the next request. And that's exactly why I use this metaphor for cashiers that, at a supermarket, when you're pulling up, you're waiting for them to finish with that person, and then it's your turn. But that's where, when you take the combination of PHP workers and RAM, then you can calculate, okay, well, this is telling me this is how much work the number of people, number of cashiers checking out and the amount of capacity they have to do it. When I bring those two together, then I can go, yeah, this is going to be enough for me. So if you're highly technical, we give you those data points for existing stores so that you can figure out and go, yeah, this is better than this. But if you're not technical, you can just run up and look at total transactions or concurrency and figure out what's right for you.